Hello, I am delighted to be back today for the second time on the podcast. Richard Harland from Zest Water for Life. Now, Richard and I met quite a few months ago when I was frantically trying to sort out some solutions for water quality, not only for my drinking water, but all the water in my house and also the water for the horses in the garden. And Richard and his company have come up with the most amazing solution. So I will link to the first interview below. But today, Richard and I are really going to talk in a bit more detail about what the Zest water filter does, my experience, because I've had mine for quite a while now and it's just amazing, and answer some of the questions that we've had through from the listeners. So Richard, how are you doing? It's been a busy time for you, hasn't it?
It's been a bit mad, but the best thing is I'm over the stage fright part. This
Yes.
is this is new to me, so I'm over the stage fright. Yeah, things are going fantastic. We're getting so much positive feedback, and every time somebody installs one, they're like, "Wow, why have we not done this before?" So yeah,
It's
it's
just
it's hard work, but it's fantastic work.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, bringing things like this to market is not an easy job. I know that from experience. So I know how much of the behind the scenes admin, logistics, accounting, everything you've done. So it's amazing. But the reason I'm so excited to tell our listeners more about this again, Richard, is whether it's for yourself, your animals, your plants you're growing in your garden. We all know water is so important. The quality of your water, depending whether you're looking at it from a weight or a percentage, we're anywhere between 70% and 99% water. So is every animal, so is every plant. I've got my lovely Zest filter water, my lovely flask of water bottle here, which we'll talk about that later. But tell us how this passion for giving us all a solution for water quality in our homes at an affordable price. How did you get into this, Richard?
Well, I think I told you before, we work in the wastewater world, and when we treat wastewater, it's not very rewarding, to be honest. Um, we the companies you tend to work with, and it's obviously can't mention any names, but it's all top secret because
Mhm.
they know that they're breaking the regulations, um, and all of our hearts are not in that. Our hearts are in, well, why don't you find a better way to do what you're doing? And so that's what sort of led us down this path. And it's a labor of love, to be able to do something for humanity, to do something for the community. And I keep going on about this is a community initiative, and it absolutely is, for the community, by the community. That's what empowers us all. That's what we all love. The thought that we're doing something right. Can't be better than that.
That's such an amazing point you've just brought out, because I don't watch much telly, but because I work late at night, I try and do something, either read or watch something which is, just relaxing before I go to bed so I can switch off. And I've been watching this program about the blue zones.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely fascinating about these areas of the world that have got the people that consistently have people that live to over 100 in a fit and healthy way. So they've got a really good quality of life whilst they're still over 100 years old. It's amazing. And one of the most important things that consistently came out of all of those, Richard, was purpose. I can never pronounce the Japanese word, but ikigami or something, for this sense of purpose, that you wake up in the morning knowing why you're here and knowing how you can contribute. So you've summed that up beautifully with what you're
Mm,
doing.
thank you. Well, it's a genuine feeling. We've all worked for businesses and made lots of money for lots of people in lots of ways, but this is not even about that. This is just about doing the right thing. And the sweet thing is when you put your that update on where you're watering the horses,
Oh, yeah.
it brought a tear to my eye.
Mm.
I'm not the softest of men, but I genuinely brought a tear to my eye. I think, wow, Richard, that's amazing. So
And it really brought tears to my eye, because all of us that have been on the discovery journey over our lives to understand what the problems are, we all know that there's an absolute epidemic of chronic diseases, both in humans and animals, and actually in nature in general. And we're not going to go into all the reasons for that today. We'll stick to water. But as a parent to two-legged and four-legged family members, it's when you know there's a problem and you haven't got a solution, it's incredibly stressful and it really plays on your mind. So when I can tick off these things of saying, right, I no longer need to worry about this for my children, for myself, for my animals, the peace of mind that that gives. And also the fact that we know what we're doing, we're putting clean stuff back into the environment, because I love the wildlife as much as I love all my other animals. So this is why solutions like this are so, so important. So what I'm going to do, let me just show people my installation, because Richard, I have mine installed and I want to show people how easy it is. So my water inlet,
In the broom cupboard.
in the broom cupboard, in the boiler cupboard, in our little kitchen, and this is it fitted. So you can literally, any house can have these fitted. I did get my plumber friend to fit it because my husband and I have no practical skills like that at all. But from the moment it went in, one, it was incredibly easy to fit, Richard.
Yep.
So my plumber had no problems at all fitting it. You know, it was out, it came with all the instructions, came with all the fittings. Took him less than half an hour to actually do it. And we've got a really cramped space there where he was fitting it. So it's not an easy job anyway. And for the moment it started coming through, I ran it through for a while. I've been filtering my water for years and years, but I had two big desktop systems, which was really great. But when you've got as many dogs, cats, children, you know, people to do the water for, I was continually filling up my desktop water. To be able to now go to the tap and get that filtered water, I still haven't got over the excitement of it. So now, instead of having to fill up the water filters, then fill up the dog bowls and cat bowls from there, I can go straight from the tap. So it's taken me so much, but also it means every time I'm washing my fruit and vegetables, it means in the shower, in the bath, the horses' water. And what I've noticed, Richard, is the horses, and I put this on my little update on my social media, the horses started drinking more water straight away.
Yeah.
I mean, what better testimonial is there for that?
They get better absorption.
Exactly. Better absorption. They can tell the difference. They can smell the difference, because even though our drinking water was filtered in the house, I didn't have a system that could do for the horses.
No.
So let's tell people a little bit what it is. Let me open up the page to your website. So if people want to find out more about what it is, it's on my website, which I will show you in a minute, but the Zest Water website, let me get the right tab. I have rather too many tabs open. So I'm going to show you at the end the links for how to connect with this will all be below. But you can get to this Zest Water site through the Catherine Edwards Live product page. And what this does is it tells you all about it. It's got the different, it's a really easy to use filter. So what is in it, Richard? What is causing this filtration?
What's the secret sauce? Well, obviously it's a composite filter. We talked about this last time. So it's a multi-composite material that has a natural zeolite, phthalate as the major component. But that's just one phase of it. We're motivating the water. It's got a cyclical cone inside the system to motivate the water. So we're giving it structure, and we're being disruptive with the water flow. But effectively, we're using nature as it would happen in nature inside your home. And I love what you said. You said you can go to the tap, not just a tap, any tap. Whether it be hot or cold, whether it's been through either process. So it's complexed in some ways, the way that it works, the ion exchange componentry of it. But I always say to people, is knowledge a good thing or a bad thing? Because it asks you to challenge things, and we're very lucky to be able to answer any question. But all you need to know, in my view, having now run one for a year and a half, 2 years nearly, fit it and get it, enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then in 2 years' time, enjoy the next phase. And I think that's the way that I approach it now. I don't even think about it. And people come to my house and say, "Can I have some water?" I wonder why you're asking that question. You haven't brought a demijohn to take it with you.
Exactly.
You know,
yeah.
This is the effect it's having on people. Just on the website, I meant to say that Actually, there are country-specific websites now. So wherever
Right.
you are in the world, and I know you've got quite a reach, Catherine, it'll come up in your own language,
Perfect.
and you can still use the same process to purchase. Uh, that's all set up now, as is the global distribution network. So, um, yeah, I see you paused on the what does it remove?
Yeah, this
Um,
is one of the biggest questions we've had. So, um, this is a list of what it removes, but we've also had quite a lot of questions about graphene oxide, and we'll be careful what we say about it because of the platform we're on. But we know a lot
mm,
of people are very concerned about that because it's in everything at the
yeah,
moment. So this list gives some of the common things that it removes that a lot of people are very concerned about.
is
Um,
it
it
data?
it's fantastic. I love it that you see fluid on here, but also of particular interest to me is, all the awful glyphosate and things like that as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. We
Um,
need we need to update that list because obviously we see different water conditions in different countries and different scenarios, whether it be well water, borehole water. So as we're continually testing, we're
yes,
continually adding. And my apologies, we will update that list. But as it says, it's not exhaustive. Um, the graphene oxide is a given,
yeah,
and the one thing for me is the uremic venom
yes,
extraction, because what we don't realize is all of these things are unseen, and it's never the things you see that harm you. You ever been bitten by a spider that didn't harm you? No, it's yeah, it's
it's so
these are the
true. Now, what I want to say to our listeners, Richard, is Richard is very, very well, and his team are very, very well aware of all the pressures and problems that we're aware about that we're not allowed to talk about on this platform. Hence, us mentioning the graphene oxide, hence us mentioning the venom. And this is what I love. Richard gives me regular updates about, look, we've tested for this, we've tested for that, and I know how hard it is to keep a website up and running and keep it up to date. But rest assured that all these questions that you're asking have been looked into and answered. So we're really happy to have questions come through. We love it. So should we
yeah,
go through some of the other ones, Richard, that we've been
yeah,
asked?
yeah. Come on,
So
let's go.
we've answered the graphene oxide. The next one that's come up for a lot is how easy is it to fit, and do you need an expert person to do it?
Yeah, really simple. If you've got the basic knowledge of handling tools, but because we're growing the community, there are plumbers out there, and we have a guy in my local vicinity who will do the install for about £50. So it's quite economical as a process, and that's a commitment to the community. That probably doesn't really pay for his time or his fuel entirely, but oh, what a beautiful thing to be able to do to offer that because he has some time. So no, really simple. We are going to make a change to the specification in one way that currently we supply it with a hose,
Yeah,
and I don't think we're going to do that going forward. We're going to supply it with full flow non-return valves, so that you can isolate it a bit more simply,
yeah,
um, and adapters for that, which is a major cost, which is the major cost. It's not a major cost, it's about £40 for the kit, but that'll be included in your purchase anyway. Don't You mustn't worry about that. But we're just trying to, as we've done more installations, we find that the hoses are left in the box. Well, we don't
yes.
want we don't want waste. One of the upshots of using Zest is, unlike every other filter on the market, there is no waste. Zero. From day one. We don't throw anything away. We regenerate the materials that are inside, and we recover what's recoverable. So it's a zero waste system. If you use a filter that uses membranes, if it uses filter media, that all goes in the bin in the end. And where does that go? Back in the environment. No, we're absolutely not having that. So there's going to be a little change, but nobody will know. It'll just come in your box. It'll look different.
I love
Just
it.
when you get your box and it's got "Welcome to the Zest community," and we're loving that.
Yeah. And I just think it's really nice that we can then basically say, if any people are watching this that are plumbers, do reach out to either Richard or myself, because we can create a little bit database of people in the different regions that are able to help install these if people need help. But it is very, very simple. So we've gone through what does Zest remove from my water, the list of contaminants, and you'll be able to reach that through my website too, and that will be updated. So that list is constantly growing. So the next question, how often does a Zest need replacing, and how do people go about that?
Okay. We've configured it to last for 2 years in a normal household, let's say 4 to 6 people,
Yeah.
not 46, 4 to 6. And it'll last for 2 years in that for that period, and you won't see any noticeable drop off in its performance, because we've built in some margin.
Mm.
And the reason we did that, 2 years is, I think, long enough, and at £1 a day, less than £1 a day. And something I need to tell you that I haven't told you yet, the replacement costs are going to be quite a lot lower. So
Wow.
after you've done your initial installation, you've had it for 2 years, when we come to regenerate it, of course, we're not using all those raw materials again. We should pass that on to our consumers, our community partners. That's what we're doing. So the cost of it will go down in the future. But it's a simple isolate at both ends. You'll have the valves in the box, unscrew it, put the new one in the box. There's a prepaid envelope, postage sticker. Send it back to us. We'll regenerate it.
Brilliant.
Again, no waste, no additional cost for our community members. Nothing. Easy.
Absolutely love it. So that's fantastic. Zero waste, zero contamination, getting back into the environment. That's really, really important. The renewal costs, we've looked at that. It's relative new product with only a few user reviews. How has it been tested?
Exhaustively and continually. There's no point in sitting back and thinking we've done that. We're looking at additional systems where there may be bacterial issues in the future. We're looking at that, whether we can have an additional, perhaps a UV filter addition. But we know that the core material that we use and the method we use is robust. It's good when we see something new, and it's quite costly to keep doing these tests, these laboratory tests.
Yes.
But it's essential, in my view, and the team's view, that we continue to make sure we're giving the best quality product
Yeah.
that we can. So we test for all the contaminants that are common, and some that are not so common, like the uremic venoms. We've seen that. And we will always, hand on heart, do the right thing.
Yeah.
That's the most important message for me.
And what I tell my listeners as well, Richard, because I know you quite well now, is the fact that even though this product that's available for the domestic market is quite new, your team have got well over 15 years experience in treating the commercial wastewaters and everything. So the technology is not new, but you've now made it accessible to all of us, which is
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. We work with a lot of the industry, big giant, steel manufacturing, food manufacturing, and these are the things that are known to be contaminating, and we've got some fantastic results.
Yes, fantastic.
Fantastic results.
Now, we're still getting a lot of people, and this is brilliant that so many people are asking the question now. Why is it so important for people to filter their water supply? Because, people often assume, not probably our listeners, I must say, but the general public often assume that, of course, it's all their drinking water is safe.
Yeah, let's rewind the video a little bit.
Yes.
We're about 70% water. So if we don't keep that in good condition, the likelihood of us becoming ill of other things increases. So there are things in water, in our tap water, that are just, if you knew, you would never drink it.
Yeah.
And what we don't want to do is scare people into doing this. And none of the marketing will ever do that. So we want to just educate. Look, this is what happens when you drink this kind of water. You're going to feel better. You're going to notice your skin feels better and your hair feels better, and all of
Yeah.
these things.
I have actually noticed that. I don't know if people can see my hair is a lot
Yeah,
less
me too.
frizzy. Look, yes. So, but no, in all seriousness, it is really important. And those of you that have got animals, who are lucky enough to have animals in your life, animals are the best judge, because they can smell contaminants in the water that we can't. Most people know that dogs can be trained to sniff out cancer, they can sniff out diseases, etc., and they can also sniff out contaminants. So a lot of us notice that our cats and dogs might choose to drink from puddles when we're out and about rather than drink the water from our taps. We'll
Yeah.
wait to see what they do with this. It's really, really important. And
Yeah. Catherine, I would say that, and you inspire me to talk about these things. Use this as part of your detox program.
yes,
If we have got the best chemistry set
yeah.
in the universe built in, and if we give it the right components, my goodness, what we can achieve is amazing. And I like you, I'm not like you. I'm closing on 60 years old, and I know that this has a big impact on my life as a physical thing.
Yeah,
When I work out, when I cycle, I take Zest on the go always.
yes.
Everything. Hydrate, but not overhydrate, and just do the right thing. Look after yourselves.
It's such a relief. It really is such a relief. I don't, my mind's always going about, oh, I must speak Richard about this, etc. So, but yeah, it is really such a relief because we've got enough in this world to worry about. Particularly those of us that are parents. You know, we all know that all of us that have got children now, they're growing up with a lot more stressors than we grew up with. And therefore, when you can do these things, that it's just one less thing that you've got to worry about. And that is so important because stress is, we all know the effect of that on the immune system, but also your quality of life.
Yeah,
So the next question I thought was a really good one. I have a medical condition. I'm intolerant to heavy metals. Can this help?
yeah. This is one of the primary effects of using Zest to extract those. And it's incredible how many people do suffer heavy metal intolerances, or even intolerances to all sorts of things. But heavy metals, we are um, taking a particular interest in. A friend of ours has a son with autism, and we've done some research, and with your help, and looked at aluminium oxides and how fluoride and aluminium oxides can create cognitive issues. And we know that we can bind that, we can get it out. And prevention is always better than cure. Stop it getting in there in the first place. Stops
Yeah.
and you can sort of dilute it over time by keep replenishing your electrolytes, the water part of your electrolyte with really clean water, really essential. I'm not talking about the likes of zero taking all the minerals out, really not a
Yes.
great idea. We don't, all the essential minerals that we need, we leave. We enhance those things, really important. But heavy metals, knock that on the head.
And also, it's a double whammy what you're doing, because this is something that I've been studying for years, Richard. I don't think I've told you about this. And I've been studying it for years because animals are very much early warning signs for what's going on in humans. So having worked in animal health for more years than I care to admit, what we were seeing is the animals dropping like flies, and particularly the horses. And what happens, because your system removes the pesticides and herbicides and things like aluminium oxide, the two of those together are a lethal combination because they cross the blood-brain barrier, they cause leaky gut, gut dysbiosis, gut microflora imbalance in the gut. And so many amazing people like Zach Bush have studied this. But the fact that yours does both, you see, our bodies have got such an amazing power of regeneration and repair, like you said, if we stop the problem that's continually going in and stopping our bodies being able to cope with it. So for anyone that's got these conditions, this can only help massively, because often it's the combination of these chemicals that's exceptionally dangerous. So it's just it's wonderful.
Yeah.
But very, very good question as well. And also very important for, we know there's an absolute epidemic of dementia and Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and things now. So all of these factors are contributors to that as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Really important.
really important. Another really good question, which applies to me. I live in an area where the water is hard. Can Zest help with that?
Yeah. Naturally water softening.
Yeah.
So get rid of your salt-based water softener and all of that. We did an installation recently with a reverse osmosis system and a water softener. And well, there's another cupboard available in the kitchen now in this house. So yeah, the way that the ion exchange works and the way that the water is filtered means that the water is naturally soft. And this is why people say, gosh, my skin feels really nice and soft and
Yes.
hydrated, because we're not dehydrating the skin and the hair and all of that. And I've got a teenage boy who spends all of his time in a shower when he's not playing football.
Yeah.
So it's had a big change in Ed's life. Yeah, his hair's growing all the time.
It's fantastic, isn't it? And I live in a really hard water area, so that's quite important for me as well. That's really good. This is one of my favorite ones. I was saying this. So thank you so much for everyone who's sent in questions. And if you leave any questions below in the comments box below, we will get round and answer those too. So please don't be shy.
Yeah.
What happens to all the contamination when you regenerate my old filter?
Aha. One of my favorite things, because I'm a sciencey guy.
Yeah.
We're going to securely destruct, and we're working on a patent, so we won't talk too much about that if you don't mind. But we're working on a process of getting rid of those forever. We always say that when you use Zest for life, you use it forever.
Yeah.
And it's because when we take the contamination out, it really means forever. We're not ever giving that back to the environment unless it's things that can be reused. So there are phosphates and nitrates that are in water. We want to use those because they're really good for our gardens. So we're going to recover those, and part of the community scheme, I want to develop like a community stimulus for growing, so we can give them back to groups, whether there's what do you call them, household garden.
Yes. Allotments and
Allotments, that's
yeah.
it. That kind of thing. We want to give all of that back and just
Brilliant.
make sure that the heavy metals are recovered and any of the microplastics and things are securely destructed. And once we've done that, we're weaning them out of the watercourse time and time and time again. That's what's really important, because if you see what's in the news about PFAS, PFOS, that's just wrong, and we've got to do something about it.
Absolutely. The whole of the planet depends on us, and I absolutely love this. So again, a reach out for you. I've already put Richard in contact with an amazing group down in Petersfield that I was lucky enough to interact with. So those of you watching this that have got community groups, whatever country, we're going to come on to worldwide shipping in a minute, but please do reach out with Richard and his team, because this is how we all help each other. We all have a little bit of the jigsaw puzzle. So those of you that have got community gardens, those of you who've met this amazing man who is doing micro sprouting for people that live in cities and hydroponics for people that live in cities, any projects like that, you need Richard and his team on board. And this is just going to really be a win-win situation for everyone. So where is Zest based and where do you produce the system?
Okay, well, we're situated in Germany, mainly because more of the partners in the business are in mainland Europe, of which we used to be part. So we're situated in Garmisch, which is near to Zugspitze, so the highest point in Germany. But the team are dispersed all over the world. Sweden, Italy, Germany, Poland, the UK. Yeah, that's where we're based, and we manufacture the system in Europe.
Yeah.
All of the componentry comes from within a sensible distance. We don't outsourced to China. We're not bringing materials in from far afield. We want this to be a sustainable solution. And this is how we want to keep it. We want to keep it like this. If in the future continental America grows, beyond the logistic challenge, then we'll look to mirror what we do in the US or in Canada. We've had lots of customers from Canada. Thank you, Catherine.
I love it. Do you know
They're
the
brilliant people.
Canadians? I think this is one of the things, Richard, I found so beautiful about this process of the last few years. Where people have been hit hardest, they turn out to be the most resourceful. There's something that could be seen as good and could be seen as bad about human nature, where sometimes we don't make changes in our life until we're forced to. But when you look at what the Canadians have done, the Australians to some extent, the people that have been hit hardest by the control measures that have gone on over the last few years are so resourceful now. New Zealand is very good at this as well. So good on you, Canadians, because what people are doing now is saying enough is enough. I'm going to take back control and do something myself. Yeah.
Something wonderful happened this morning. We had an order from Hawaii. And it's in my nature to give that for free.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Of course, we can't do that for everyone, but
yeah,
this first person reached out, and again, it's another one of those tear-jerking moments.
Yes.
Didn't ask for anything. Just said, "Look, I need this."
Yeah.
So
I really think moving forward, there's going to be more schemes reaching out where we've got to pass it forward. So there might even be someone sitting here watching this video today that might be able to donate a unit to someone somewhere like that really needs it. So if you are, all Richard's contact details are going to be below the video, because this is how we do it. We play these things forward. And if you're in a position where you can help, even people that are in positions that might be able to donate one to an animal rescue charity or something like that, I'd really implore people to think about it, because these things really do make a difference. And coming back to what we were saying about the blue zones at the beginning of the program, having a purpose and contributing to something bigger than ourselves is one of the key secrets to happiness, health, longevity. It's a win-win for everyone.
Catherine, I don't know if you saw, we went to see The Sound of Freedom.
Oh, have you? Yeah.
And the message that Jim Caviezel delivers at the end is just what you've said. We're not all in the same position, but we could all help each other out if we were willing to do so. And there's a pay it forward scheme, and part of the community initiative that we talked about. I hope I've not lost you. Part of the community initiative and the community support initiative that we set when we started Zest was to help people in need if they're not able to do it themselves financially, and we will continue to do that forever. And nobody's won the golden ticket yet, by the way. Nobody's sent me a message saying I got the golden ticket. So in each country there's one golden ticket, and if your box arrives with a golden ticket inside, that's yours for life.
Brilliant.
You will have Zest in your home for life for free.
Wow.
One per territory.
How exciting. So there's so much that comes out of this, out of something good that starts, so much snowballs. So I'm going to open up my website now so that we can go through the cost side of things. Let me just do that. I'm just getting used to working on two screens, and I'm not the quickest at it. So let me find where I have got my website open. What have I done with it? I'll just quickly, told you I'm not great with tech.
I'm going to have some zested Earl Grey tea.
Yes, exactly. I don't like Earl Grey tea. I must be one of the few people that doesn't like Earl Grey tea. I love green tea then. Right. So on all the links for this will be below, but on my Catherine Edwards Live website, we've now got a QR code, and when you go through to buy product, this probably will change to take you through to the main website. But you can see that the Zest water filters are £695, including tax and delivery. And that
Correct.
is for all UK residents, isn't it?
It is.
And EU residents?
It's 695 euros in the EU. And obviously there's a difference, but it's
Yeah.
managed in the shipping from Europe to the UK. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
And then for worldwide, for USA, Canada, elsewhere, the price is £695 plus whatever the dispatch shipping is. So there will
Correct.
be extra shipping. So
Yeah.
basically, if you're outside the UK or Europe, the price of the unit is the same, but obviously they have to add on the shipping costs and everything.
Yeah. We shipped some units to Canada, and I think the units were like £70 shipping. But obviously there's no importation tax. We take care of all of that.
Fantastic. That makes a huge difference for people.
Yeah.
So you can go to the Catherine Edwards Life, go to the products page, and there's a lot of information here. This will also link through to Richard's Zest for Life site and everything. So any questions and all the contact details and links will be below. The final question that we'd had sent in to us is, do you offer an installment plan?
Not currently,
Mm.
but we'd like to.
Yeah.
And what we don't want to do is put it out to the banking fraternity for them to margin it up. So with the community's help, and I'll tell you what inspired us to do this, because I watched the Bank of Dave, and the Bank of Dave as a concept is just beautiful.
Right.
This is a guy who's successful, lives in North Yorkshire, West Yorkshire, I think it is, and he starts his own bank,
Wow.
and all of the profits from the banking go back into the community. It's wonderful. So if we could get the community to a level where there's sufficient funds in the pot, then we will look to do it on an installment or a subscription basis.
Yeah.
Because this is about trust. This is about doing the right thing and trusting people to do the right thing. So in the
Brilliant.
future,
So this
fingers
is
crossed.
what we love. These things are always evolving. We're meant to evolve. We're meant to change. We love these new ideas. I love the fact that your team are just so open-minded to all of it. And we can all help make this better, because each and every single one of us that buys one allows these things to be implemented. And as I said, if you're in a lucky enough position where you can pass it forward, what a gift to give someone. Because I know personally, it's been such a huge weight off my mind. You know, every single morning and evening when I'm watering my plants, watering the horses and everything, plus my guinea pigs that I have got here. For anyone listening, I've got my new guinea pigs that are being introduced here. So my office is full of animals. The cats aren't too pleased because they can't come in at the moment.
Right.
Otherwise it might not be pleasant. But yeah, so the fact that, you know, whether the guinea pigs water, whether it's my tomatoes, the horses, or us humans, it really is such a relief. And I'm passing this around everywhere because I think, you know, this is how we change the world. We put in these things, we make these changes to ourselves, we tell other people about them, and, you know, we're putting our energy and attention about the world we do want to create. Everyone watching this, we all know the problems that are facing us. But I think, you know, I was listening to someone this morning, and they were talking about the law of diminishing energy and return. And it's so true, because once you know the problem, you don't want to stay there. You want to go on to solution mode. And that's very much what you and your team have done.
Yeah, absolutely.
So grateful. Anything else you want to tell the listeners about before we leave, Richard?
Just on the pay it forward thing, a big shout out to Kay Higgins, because she did exactly that.
Wow, that's so wonderful.
Kay, if you're watching, you're a superstar. But that's what, it's already happening.
That's absolutely wonderful. Complete superstar. So we will come back. If people have got questions for Richard, we're very happy to come back and answer this. So please let us know your comments and questions, and we will collate them and come back and answer them for people. Obviously, we do answer them individually to you as well. But people, if you've got a question, you can guarantee other people will have the same question. So don't be shy about asking. It all helps us to communicate this better. please, 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 please do share this video with loved ones. There's a lot of people that have no idea what's in their water and the impact that it's having on all of their health of all species. And one of the best gifts we can do to people is just to sort of put this out there and sort of say, did you know? And let them see whether it resonates with them.
Yeah. I'm going to wear my Superman Zestmeister cape next time.
Yes, exactly.
I've got some confidence.
Yeah, exactly. It's absolutely fantastic. No, honestly, I'm really grateful to you all. I'm really excited. I'm also excited for those people. I've had a few people from horse yards as well that are saying, look, we really want this for our horses and everything. So, you know, don't think outside the box, turn it away. It's everything that all of us, whatever species, deserve. These sort of clean water is an absolute basic for everyone. We can't necessarily sort out the air straight away, but we can sort out our water. So
it is on the radar.
Good.
Air quality is on the radar, yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you, everyone who's watching this. I feel so uplifted with these discussions, Richard.
Yeah, me too.
Loving how resourceful people are getting. So pass it forward, and well done, everyone who's just supporting this wonderful initiative. Thanks, Richard.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. And if you feel inspired, please do share with your friends and family. My goal is to inspire as many people as I can to live their best lives, to stay curious, and to raise their consciousness and that of the collective. So to do this, I need to reach as many people as possible, and this needs your help. If you feel drawn, would you be willing to share your favourite episode with 5 different people? This helps us spread the word and also helps me encourage some exciting new guests to take part in this podcast. If you feel drawn to do that, I will be very, very grateful. All the links and discount codes where applicable for all the products that I support are on my 2 websites, catherineedwards.life and catherineedwardsacademy.com. All of the products are personally tried and tested by me, my family, and my clients. And finally, please do press the follow or subscribe button, depending which platform you're listening on. And above all, stay curious and stay free.